Well, good morning, everyone. This is Barry's Best Honey, honey being the operative word here today, and I do bees. Today, hopefully we're doing some honey. So folks, today is July 1st, and it's actually a cool morning. It's only like 75 degrees, so that's beautiful, but it's so humid, so stinking humid, I'm already sweating. Yesterday I went ahead and got everything together for the most part. A few little things to do this morning. I need to get the trailer hooked up. I got two people coming. Eddie, who's a viewer, has been asking me to come over and help with stuff and learn, and I could surely use his help on this. And then Steven, y'all remember him from the videos. He's helped me before. I'm gonna try and get Eddie more involved as we get busier during the assessments, but just hadn't been busy, so this is his first time coming over. So because I got two people coming, I'm not going to be using the hive lifter today. I will be using it in the yard in town because I'll be by myself. I really bought that thing to move double deeps, but also to help with harvest. But I don't use bee escapes, and that's what it's really designed for. So it's not like it's I had to perfect my way to use it with honey supers, and I have, and it helps me out. But if I can get some help out here when we have to have it done quick and before the heat sets in, that's what I do. But we have to get this done early. We also have to be quick because of what I'm seeing right here. All these old frames I put out yesterday to make some room, and as you can see, we got bees scouring these frames. That's why we're going ahead and not waiting that long to pull this honey. I was going to wait a little longer this year, but you know what? It's over. There's no more nectar coming in. I know Mr. Ed pulled his a couple days ago. I think he's actually even harvesting today. Just him and a few people. The flow, it's looking like for everybody I'm talking to, they're down about 75% on production. That's about the number I've come up with. Easy round number. But these bees are ready to eat and ready to rob. It's over. So we got to be quick so we don't have a bunch of robbing. And we have got to beat the heat. With the humidity and then that heat, it's been in the hundreds. The heat index has been well in the hundreds. Only about 98, 99 yesterday. And then when it cooled down about 95, I came out and got all the stuff ready. Fume boards, got it all out. So I'm gonna hook up the trailer, kind of get everything pre-positioned. Should not take us long with two people. We will strip everything pretty much down to doubles and singles. Man, I'm fogging up. And that way we're done and they'll be ready to be treated soon. Some of them I will leave. If there's some boxes on there that are that you know are half filled and no cappings whatsoever, we'll leave them. I am going to pull some uncapped honey. I checked some the other day, and I went out to the hive, grabbed some out and put it in a bowl, walked it through the humidity over to the honey house, and it was at 17 and a half. So I think it'll be fine. We're going to end up pulling some that's uncapped, but there's going to be a lot of boxes that probably don't have much in them. If they're completely empty, they're coming off. If they got a little bit, I'll leave them for now and get them another week or two, or when I do assessments. And I can always leave those out and feed those back. Because I don't want to leave supers on. I want to get them down to where they're going to be ready to be treated. We're going to be using Apagard this year. Got to be real careful in the heat with that, how much we use. But yeah, we're going to try and get them stripped down today. And we're going to see what we get. Hey, it's going to be exciting that we're getting something. I'm happy. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. And then also in the yard in town, I know I've got about 5 to 6 good boxes of honey. So that's a good thing. Again, everybody's down, at least in this area. So we shall see. Let me get busy. Let me get everything ready for these guys so I'm not wasting their time, because they're gracious enough to come out here and help. And I do not want to minimize their time that they're putting in to come help me. All right, here we go. Well there folks, we've got everything on here. We got some fume boards. I got my smoker lit. I got these deep boxes and I got some drawn comb in these. And what these are going to be is when I pull some deep frames, it's stuck in there good. But anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to, there's several out there that the entire box is full of honey. And what I'll probably do is pull 4 frames from each, maybe even 5, and then replace drawn in the center. And that'll be fine. That gives plenty of room for them. They still have stores. And don't forget, we should have some sort of nectar coming in starting September, mid-September. So for those colonies that that we leave some of the supers on, which will be very few, they'll be partial filled, just very, very, very partial filled, because anything that's half or better, I'm taking it. And even if it's not dry enough after my drying, I'll feed it back. But anything we do leave a few of the supers on, we could possibly get some honey in the fall. I got 2 folks here helping me. We got Eddie down there. He's a viewer from local. Where you live?
Mandeville.
Mandeville. I said Covington earlier. He's from Mandeville, but he's got hives down the road over here, not far from here. And then of course y'all remember Steven. His video is actually going out today of going through his colonies, and y'all met him at the yard in town. The fume boards aren't going to work as good without the sun shining on them, but that's just how it has to be down here, because we can't wait till 1 o'clock to do this or we'll die out here. Oh. Alright folks, so what we're going to do is I use fume boards. Y'all know, I'm not telling you how to, right? It's a how I do video. Y'all know that too. I'm showing them how I do, I'm showing y'all how I do, and y'all seen me before do this, and so many beekeepers use it, and it's a fume board. Now when I first started using fume boards, I never read the directions. And here's a reason you never think you're getting to be that big of a beekeeper where you don't listen to beginner beekeepers. Dirk was over here explaining fume boards to me, and he said, Mike, you're supposed to leave them cracked. I said, no, that ain't so. He said, yeah. He said, I read the directions. He's a new beekeeper, right? He did the right thing and read the directions. So never discount somebody just because they're new. He taught me something and it works much better. So I put the fume boards on, I leave a little crack in them, and we fume them out. So I do use a little smoke at the beginning. If you want to pop that cover real quick, I throw a little smoke to them just to get them out of my way. But this hive I don't think has much honey, but I see enough capped in there. That's good enough for me. Like 1 or 2 frames, that's it. We're gonna take it. This fume board has already been treated. I stick it on like so, and I'm good to go. And then I fume the next one. And that's how we do it. Throw a little smoke to them, a little beetle action going on. Some bees guarding some honey. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, this has got a lot of uncapped stuff. Let's hold on just a minute. Pull that back off real quick. I want to see what this looks like real quick. I didn't spot check this one, I don't think. Yeah, see, like this is empty. It's just got a little bit in it. We'll take that. But if you look, this is what a lot of people are seeing right now in their colonies. So what we do is do a shake test the old school way. There's a little bit of nectar coming out. Just a little bit of honey. It's pretty thick. Yeah, that's pretty thick stuff. I can dry that down. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So we'll take this one too. They're not bringing anything else in. They're not going to cap it. Most of it's capped like that anyway, so we'll fume it out and take the whole thing. All right, go ahead. Let's look at this one. This one may not even worry about fuming. Let's look what's in it first. It's empty. Yeah. And this one's empty. I think, you know what I did with this one? I might have just given them space just to give them something. Probably so. Verify all of them. So this one here, what we'll do, I can take this one completely off. Yeah, I got the camera. Set it off to the side. It's empty. This one's got honey in it, and I suspect the bottom one's got honey in it. And this is the problem when you don't have much of a flow. You got to go through every doggone colony, kind of see what you got. Normally I just sling fume boards across everything, but we got honey here, so that's good. And the bottom one, so this one's full. But as I was saying earlier videos, these outside ones are not. Normally after tallow, these will be slap full, but you can see these are hazy. A little bit of cap, so
heavy too.
I'll show you a heavy one in town. Well, there's a heavy one there. When they're full with 9 frames, they're super heavy. All right, we can fume that one. And so all we're gonna do is fume. We got a 4th fume board.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing, folks. And then what we'll do is we'll blow the bees out. When I get closer to the brood box, I'm telling Eddie and Steven how I blow the bees down. Kenny showed me that when he was doing it. I have extracted queens a couple times. I want to blow down to push her down in case there's a problem. Sometimes she'll be up there for whatever reason. And you may think that's not so, but I've extracted queens. I actually pulled one out of my extractor, put her in a cage, and brought her back out to a colony.
I got
Eddie's done made him mad. We got to smoke him down. The lid stuck. That happens. All right, let's see what this one's got.
I nailed it first.
Let's see what this one's got. This is kind of what we're going to have to do, is just go through each one and see. Yeah, this one's good. A lot of uncapped stuff. Oh yeah, these aren't happy bees. All right, let's fume this one. But again, only this many frames are full. They're not wall to wall like they normally would be. All right, we're gonna fume. We're gonna let them set for a little bit, and then we're gonna pull them off and start stacking on the trailer. We're gonna go through each of these stacks and start leapfrogging once we get going, and we'll see how it goes. All right, we're still fuming, guys. We've got everybody down to doubles. This one here, when we shook it, was just full of nectar. I'm gonna leave it for now. That super I left on that single just because they need space. Everybody's pretty much down to doubles. We're wrapping these 2 up here. We're gonna pull some deep frames out of that. That was my cloak board box where I built queen cells, so I know the top is all honey. And then we're gonna move to the next stand. Those boxes that are stacked, they're pretty much, none of them are full. Like, there's at least outside frames that aren't full or aren't capped, but there's a lot of them. So if we can get half of that, we'll be doing good. There's just not a lot of honey in these boxes, and like one of them is just all uncapped, very, very light, but I'm gonna dry it. And we pulled some here that are completely empty, which I knew, and these boxes are to replace deep frames that we're getting ready to pull. So that's what we're doing. Still hard at it. Got another stand to do, and then we'll go next door, and then we'll be done. But we're gonna take a break here in a little while, get some water. All right, so we stacked up some supers. Mind you, those are not full supers, but the bees have found them. We got to get them on in the honey house. We got some that are actually empty supers. There's nothing in those. They'll get put out for the bees to finish out any nectar that might be in them, just a little bit. And then I got a box half a deep full of deep frames. We'll pull that in. Once we get these in, we got to get a couple hives back there. There's like 3 supers, and then probably another 5 next door, and then that'll be it. And we're getting hot and wore out. So here we go. Let's get these in. All right, folks, it's now 11 a.m. We started around 7:30 to 8, and it's 11, and we've got all the boxes in. As you can see, the bees are buzzing the doors. They're gathering up. We didn't have much of a problem with robbing until we got done with that first set of stands. Then it began to really pick up. A lot of bees on the windows. We'll get those funneled out soon. But I'll take you inside and show you what we got. We got quite a few supers, but they're by no means are they full. Half a dozen that might be close to full. So normally they're full side to side. So as you can see, we've got super stacked up in here, and they're drying now. And there's probably about 45 boxes in here, but now, again, they're not full. We're gonna be funneling bees out the windows here pretty soon, because all the bees that we couldn't get out are on the windows. But I have a way, I take the screens out and open them up, and I let them out. So we'll get the lights off and we'll get them all over here. And we're gonna see what we come up with honey. I mean, if half of that's honey, we're sitting good. You know, it's not a normal harvest, but it's gonna be a decent harvest. Plus I got about 5 or 6 good boxes in town. And what I do now is I go in and get a shower and take a nap. So folks, here's my setup. Of course, I put shims on the bottom down there, okay, so we get airflow through the boxes. I put a box fan on top. A lot of people do this. It's pretty common. I started doing it about 4 years ago, and I run just a regular household dehumidifier like I showed you a minute ago. That's on 40. That's what the room is holding right now. I will switch this AC unit over to dry mode. Like I said, a lot of uncapped stuff in this. We randomly shook the frames, and a few we ran across shook out just like water. So there was nectar out there, so that won't go in my honey. Some we shook and we'd get a drop or two, and you could run your hive tool across it, and it was real thick. So that was just honey coming out. So I got a refractometer I'll run. I ran some the other day. It was 17 to 17.5. Just running just under 18% in the hive, uncapped. Half the cells were half full. So that's kind of the goal, is to get below 18. I'm gonna get a couple more fans though out here. I got one other fan I can put out here, but then I might go buy another box fan. I do have another little fan I can put on top. So gonna get everybody drying at one time so we can get this stuff out and go from there. After what we saw this year, I'm pretty excited. All right folks, so you saw what we got in there. You saw how I'm gonna dry it down, just like everybody else does. I'm gonna try and get it dried down. We'll go case by case on each frame. If it's an entire box of uncapped, I'll check half the frames, make sure we're good, and we'll move on with it. But I don't want to put a lot of uncapped in there because I don't want to have any problems with fermentation. But as long as it's the right percent, I'm really not sweating it. So, but it's been a good day, and it's been hot. It's time to go. These guys have been an immense help. Y'all know Steve. Y'all met Eddie today. It's good for me because they helped me immensely. We got this done. It's only 11 o'clock and we got it knocked out. And this would have taken me forever to do it by myself, and I wouldn't have done them all. Y'all saw what happened to me last year. And I'm not as young as I used to be. But it helps them too because they get to see how other people are doing things and maybe apply it to their bee yard. So it works out. Everybody helping each other. It's a good thing to go work with somebody and work your bees and see how they're doing it. And see how and go to another beekeeper to see how they're doing it, because everybody has a little different trick of the trade. And so that's what they did today, but it was a huge help. I did count in there, we got about 45 boxes or so, about 43 I think. So we're gonna see what we come up with. I'll let y'all know. We'll do a video on the extraction, and we'll show you what we get. So what'd you think about it, Eddie?
It was hot.
Eddie got a little overheated on us. We had to send him in. Let's sit him down for a while, but it's not worth killing yourself over. But we got almost the whole back stand done, and then we all started really feeling the heat. What about you, Steve? What you think?
The simplest way to say it, it's humid and it's tough, but it was a great day. Bees were great. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting me, Mike.
Oh yeah. And he did say in his he's got video. It's
P Ridge Honeybees?
Yeah, P Ridge Honeybees. He's starting some videos and he's logging his season and his beginning. All right, guys. Well, look, I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate all y'all watching. Always appreciate your support. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees with Steven.
From P Ridge Honeybees.
And Eddie. Hey. A man, a few words. Y'all have a wonderful week, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.